I know that it's Steele's job to go after the president, but does he have a case in going after him on this? Roland, you say what? Are you there?
I'm there, Rick. Now I hear you.
How are you? Oh, sorry about that, man.
All good.
This is interesting, this situation with the President of the United States being accused by Michael Steele in one case of not actually giving enough attention to Tony Hayward. I think part of the argument is, look, this guy talks to Ahmadinejad, he should talk to Tony Hayward, the president of BP.
Well, first of all, I mean, remember, we're still talking about politics, Rick. That's what we're looking at here. And so you have Michael Steele clearly wanting to score a political point by pointing out that the president has not sat down with the CEO of BP, but also using the very same words that he used in a debate right here on CNN, that he would indeed talk to those who we are against, if you will. And so this is politics. And so that's really the point that Michael Steele is trying to make.
But beyond that, Roland, let me ask you a question. This president is being criticized by many on the right and some on the left. And this is interesting because this has to do with persona and personality. I know, look, you've got as big a personality as anybody. You're the kind of guy who walks into the room, and there's no question that everybody in the room knows that Roland has arrived, right? It doesn't seem to me like the President of the United States has that type of personality. He's more of a pseudo-intellectual or full-out intellectual. He hasn't had the impact in the Gulf. He hasn't had that moment that maybe other presidents have had. Is it fair to hold that against him?
Well, first of all, keep in mind, this is not a situation where you can hold the federal government 100% responsible. It's not like the president can tell a general, tell the Secretary of Defense, tell one of his cabinet members, get this fixed. You're dealing with a government issue and a private company issue in terms of BP.
But
that's part of the problem here.
But wait a minute. That's a cop-out, man. We are not talking about what he can or can't do or what.
No, it's not.
We're talking about that thing.
Rick.
All right, go ahead.
Rick,
go ahead.
no, it's not. Rick, it is not a cop-out. If I am not fully in control of something, then I cannot fully assume the situation. So here's a case where the president is saying there's a leak going on. The federal government does not have the capacity to fix it. So therefore, you're relying on someone else to get it done. You have to take care of your part. Now, I think the point you're trying to make is we're looking for this moment where the president comes in riding, a horse saying,
that's exactly what
I'm the guy going to get it fixed, but he can't get it fixed.
It has nothing to do with getting it fixed. It has nothing to do with getting it fixed.
Yes, it does.
It has to, no, wait, it does not, no, let me finish. It has to do with perception. It has to do, George Bush may not have known a darn thing about the Iraq War or Afghanistan, but in 9/11, when he sat there with that bullhorn and he said, and soon they're going to hear us too, and people applauded and cheered, that was a moment of leadership, and it was totally hysterical.
Rick?
Go ahead.
Rick?
Go ahead.
Could the President of the United States, George W. Bush, send troops, send planes, send bombs, send drones? Yes, he could do that. Can this president order anyone in the federal government right now to fix the leak? But no. The reality is, until you... No. I get your point. I get the whole issue of perception. I've made the point about perception beforehand. But again, the problem that we have here is this is not a situation where you're fully in control. Yes, people are looking for that moment. But let's say the president comes out. But my question is this. He says...
No, let's stop. My question is this. We both agree, and you're right. He's done everything he can pragmatically, concretely, signed the right forms, had the right meetings, said the right things to the people who need to know what they need to be told. Has he stepped up perceptively, perception-wise, before the American people and said, by golly, I'm going to take care of this, I promise, and come off with that sense of leadership that is necessary? Is he capable of that?
First of all, there are two words here, implied and inferred. The president can say whatever he wants to say. He has said these things. Perception is not his decision. Perception is in the hands of the people watching him and listening to him. So he can't dictate perception. All he can do is dictate his actions. So people have to perceive these things. So for instance, you can create the perception that you are in control, but in reality, you do nothing. Or you can be focused on getting the problem fixed, but the perception is you're not focused on it.
Here,
So
the question is,
let me bring this back. Let me bring this. Rick, what are we more concerned about?
Wait a minute, I got a question.
Rick, what are we more concerned about?
Let me ask you a question.
Fixing it or perception?
Let me ask you a question. I'm talking about perception in this conversation. Isn't your wife a preacher? Is your wife a preacher?
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Ordained minister 21 years.
You and I have talked about this in the past. Isn't there a difference between a preacher who really can affect people and a preacher who also says all the right stuff, knows the word, but somehow when people leave, they go, well, for some reason I wasn't inspired? There's a difference, isn't there?
No.
One has it and the other doesn't. And they're both good.
No, wait a minute. See, now let me show you something. There's a difference between somebody who can preach the word on, who can preach the word on Sunday and inspire you, but then there's somebody who can teach the word on Wednesday Bible night study and teach you. Now, the question is, do you want to be inspired or do you want to be taught? And there are some people, like my wife, like my pastor in Chicago and Houston, who can preach and teach, but some folks don't have that gift.
You're right, and that was the point that I was making earlier about capabilities. We'll leave it at that, and then you and I'll get together and
But it's also
argue
perception.
again.
Perception is based upon how you see it, not what they do.
Shoot me an email.